Hi everyone, how you all doing? Continuing on the live theme, I was on the wagon for a few weeks and then fell off with the lurgy. And I know, having spoken to many of you, you are also going through lurgy. So look after yourselves wherever you are in the world, especially if you are going through that. I taught last night and I taught again today, and definitely felt it. So I'm going to bed soon, basically. But I wanted to talk about supercharging your life. I wanted to talk about it as a thing, supercharge your life. Seems like a good time to do it. We're in the, I should say this for those of us in Northern Europe, we are in the yin part of our year, because I know it varies depending where you are in the world. And we are, air quotes, wintering. And so the chi is lower on the planet, our life force is lower. I was talking with my students about this tonight, and I was saying, and we still expect ourselves to function at the same way that we do in the middle of summer. And our systems are like, what are you doing? So we have to listen. And so it seems like a good time to talk about supercharging your life, because it's not necessarily, putting yourself on high octane. It is literally charging yourself, charging your life, which is the name of my program, coincidentally. And we have to take time to reset to do that. So most of you know my story or bits of it. I'm going to talk more and more about it because it's very relevant. And I see a lot of people talking about health and well-being out there. And there's lots of wonderfully qualified coaches. And that's great. But one of the things I learned in actually living the experience is it don't look like a book. It really, really doesn't. It's a very different experience when you're going through it. And I've worked with a lot of clients over the last nearly 20 years. Nearly 20 years I've been doing sort of clairvoyant coaching work. And I've had clients that have come from one-offs and then have disappeared off into life. I've had clients who have come every few months, every few weeks, once every 6 months. And I've had a few clients who I've worked with quite closely over a chunk of time and handheld them through the experience of shift and change in their lives. And what I've noticed in all of us is it's not once and done. It's not even 5 minutes. It doesn't fit a program. So when I knew, when I was working through cancer, and it was literally unfolding as I was uncovering pieces. I didn't know when I made the decision not to follow the doctor's advice and to heal holistically. I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know that I would be ripping the floorboards up of who I thought I was and recreating life from a completely different space. I didn't know anything. I just made that decision. And if any of you know anything about the law of attraction, all of the coaches that talk about this talk about commit to the what, and then the how shows itself, etc. And my experience of healing from cancer, coming through cancer, was just that. And so as I came through it, at some point in the middle, I thought, gosh, I want to help other people do the same, because I really did it on my own, and that was fine. I wouldn't have it any other way. I did go and see other healers and coaches, but I put the program together because I knew what I needed. So it was a case of I assembled the team. I was in charge. But that's not for everybody. It's definitely for me. I've always been like that. Parents would probably call me willful. I think that's a word used. Always know what I want to do. Oh, hello. Oh, that might be my internet. Do say hello if you're on. I can't guarantee I can say hello back, but I can have a go. And I don't like being told what to do, basically. So I was always going to go my own way with it, but it worked. And I knew I wanted to help other people, particularly women, because that's what I know, do the same thing in their lives, help themselves help them come through, whether it's trauma or health crisis or a big life change. And so I paid attention to all of the different components I worked on to get to that place of what I call foundational healing. And I've kind of boiled it down to about what I call 6 magic modules: movement, mindset, meditation and energy work, and that's the quieting the mind, calming the system; mood, your emotions; meals, what you're eating, mainly eating with intuition; and me time. And the idea with this program is that it's bespoke to you. So we've got those areas that we work in, but there's no right way, there's only your way. So what I want to do over the next possibly few days, weeks, is talk about each of the different areas. And whether you want to do the program or not, that's obviously that's for you to decide. But what I want to do with these videos is talk about how these pieces play into your health and well-being. Because people have a certain kind of, often they have a very narrow idea of what health and well-being is. And it's so vast. And we talk about it in my classes all the time, how, it's made up of all of the different things. You can do the same class over a year and be in a completely different space each time. You won't necessarily progress at what I like to call the 20-something male approach to fitness straight line. Female bodies don't do that. I'm sorry, guys. But you will get to where you want to go, but you have to take into consideration all of the components. So movement is a huge piece. It was a massive part of my recovery. It was the first thing I did. I actually became a runner, and I wrote an article on it for a magazine called that was the article for a magazine called Run Like the Wind, about how running was a massive part of my recovery from cancer, which it was. It was the first thing I did. My body wanted to move. And it wanted to move because there was so much going on inside of it that it wanted to release. And so the first area we look at is movement. How are you moving? What are you doing? It's the part that people like to label, I'm going to do air quotes again, as exercise. And then they start to think about what is the best exercise. And then they think they've got to kind of go outside of their comfort zone to go and do something. And that's not true at all. It's a question I get asked all the time. I'm just going to do a little banner here. She says, there we go. Movement. It's a question I get asked all the time. What is the best exercise? I always say the same thing. It's the one you're going to stick with. I don't care what all these trainers are putting out there. If you love it, what they're doing, great, do it. If you don't, stay the hell away from it. It's not for you. Movement is anything, this is how I would define it, is anything that gives your system cardiovascular workout. So that's where we get the heart rate going. That's the aerobic bit. That gives you some weight-bearing activity. So that's where we work on the bone density, and that you enjoy doing. You could house clean every day if that brings you joy, which would tick, if you're going at a pace, it would tick your cardio. And if you're doing, certain levels of window cleaning, etc., it's going to work on your weight bearing as well. Plus, you could always put your wrist weights on to do that. There are so many things. Obviously I love to dance. That's one of the things I love to do. I also love to run, swim and cycle. I haven't talked much about my triathlon journey since I've been on lives, but that will come because it's been on a hiatus for the last year, really, because I've been a bit busy with carnival stuff. But so the one thing that I always believe with movement is that you get some kind of a balance. So whether you do some cardiovascular, so for an example, you might do a dance class, you might go and do some weight bearing class, circuit training, something like that. That might be your combo. You might like walking, and then you might add some swimming in the mix, and then some weights. So what you want is your own version of a balanced workout for you that feels good. Personally, I don't subscribe to the whole boot camp shouty approach. That doesn't work for me, and I don't do it in my classes. So if you're looking for that, I'm definitely not the instructor for you. Go away, go elsewhere. I'm all about the gentle approach and having fun. You know, my classes are all about being playful, being a bit silly, singing along, air guitars, hairbrush singing moments, etc. And not about perfection. But for you, maybe you're someone who wants to learn to tango. So go find a class in that. And then you might add something else in the mix. So what you want to do is get that balance in your life. And it might be that you keep a movement journal for a week to a month to see what you're doing. If you don't like classes, some people don't like classes. I can't stand running in a group. Oh my God, shoot me now. Running for me is meditation. Feet on the ground, head in the air, somewhere to go. The idea of trying to do it with other people, chattering away, what fresh hell is this? Is what I think. Running for me is a solo experience. I like to listen to my body. I like to go at the pace that feels good for me. And I like to do that on my own. But other people like to run in packs. They think it's like the best thing since sliced bread. So you've got to get to know your movement personality, what you like to do, who you like to do that with, or no one, and then create that program that works for you. It might be a combination of some solo activity and some classes. You know, I adore swimming. I love being in water. I think I'm part mermaid. I'm just happiest in water. And I can spend hours in the pool just swimming up and down. Other people are like, oh my God, shoot me now. But for me, I like the water, I like the meditation, I like letting my mind drift. I have a very chatty brain, so I love that. So and the same sea swimming. I love the sea swimming. Cannot bear doing it in groups. Oh my God! Again, it's like, oh, all those chatty people. Da, da, da. I like to go with a few choice individuals, and you know who you are. And I love you very much. And so my swimming buddies, I've got people that I like to swim with. But so I'm sharing all of this because I want you to look at your own lives, your movement patterns, your movement program, what you enjoyed it, what you like to do. Perhaps you're not doing it yet, and start to create space in your life to do that. And it's really important. You know, I bang on about this all the time, but look at your body, look at your hands, look at your wrists, look at all those bones, joints, ligaments. We are designed to move. We're not designed to sit still. So, you know, a lot of us have very static jobs. So we have to put that movement component in, but go back, you know, thousands of years, we were on the move the whole time. Sitting was a luxury. So we have to, you know, we have to work on that. Some people love to move like me. And so, you know, every opportunity. But if movement is not your thing, then it's finding a way into that because you are living in a body that wants to move. So it's finding what works for you. Let me know how you get on with this. I'd be really interested in your explorations. You know, what do you enjoy doing? What are you already doing? You might already have a program you like. Perhaps you don't. What would you like to do? What's working? What's not working? Keep a little bit of a journal. Are you doing something daily? Personally, I need to move every day. And I don't just mean get out of bed. I mean, I have to do some conscious activity with my joints and muscles, etc. And then I feel good in my body. So for me, movement really is connected to the rest of my well-being. All right, I'm going to leave things there. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. I'll be back on at some point this week talking about mindset. Bye. Oh, actually, before I go, if you are interested in Supercharge Your Life, DM me the word super.